lesson 259?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to my stubborn education. Lesson 259. Let me remember. That's an action. Right? Let me remember that there is no sin. Sin is the only thought that makes the goal of God seem unobtainable. Right? And remember that sin is error. Sin's not like you're an evil sinner, you're going down. Like sin is an Aramaic word. It means, it's an archery term, means, off the target or missing the target or something like that. Oh, I thought I had the book here. Anyway, sin is the only thought that makes the goal of God seem unobtainable. What else could bind us to the obvious and make the strange and distorted seem more clear? Oh, blind us to the obvious, sorry. How's that? That total changes the meaning totally. What else could blind us to the obvious and make the strange and distorted seem more clear? What else but sin engenders our attacks? What else but sin could be the source of guilt, demanding punishment and suffering? Oh my God. And what but this could be the source of fear? These are so dramatic, these lessons. You ever notice that? You get to a certain point in your own thing where you kind of au fait with the idea that you're not a sinner, and then you go back and you read one of these lessons and it's like, damn, Jesus is really getting down there and scooping stuff off the factory floor. It's like really like hardcore ground zero. This is where it's happening, you know. Really puts me back in the bloody focus. What else but sin can be the source of guilt, demanding punishment and suffering? I've been doing that to myself. And what but this could be the source of fear, obscuring God's creation, giving love the attributes of fear and attack? And I read that and I'm like, obscuring God's creation. You know, like put aside the idea that I've had an experience of unity and creation and everything in my own mind, right? That enlightenment moment that I had, put that aside, and it's like, how do I accept that? Right? Obscuring God's creation. Accepting that at a base level where everything I'm doing without that awareness of the presence of God within me is deliberately designed to obscure it. Can I even hear that? Does that even make any real sense? I mean, you can read it theoretically and think about it and like, how the heck would I obscure God's creation? Right? How is it that I do that? And it's like, well, it's not how you do it. It's like, I am the symbol of what that is as an idea of identity of Dave. Just my mere identity association, just my mere temporal association is the idea of what that obscuring God's creation is. It's a symbolic representation of the denial of the belief in separation. I don't have to worry about how. It's occurring, and everything that seems to show up on the physical plane out there is nothing more than ongoing opportunities to A, either believe in the separation, or B, use what seems to be going on as a catalyst for the healing of my mind so that I can be released from the falsity of my beliefs. But when I read that, it's like, that's enormous. What but this could be the source of fear, obscuring God's creation, giving love the attributes of fear and attack? I don't see that in myself, but I'm told that that's what the body is. It's the symbol of that. I thought I was a pretty good person. Obviously, I'm a complete bloody insane thing. Obscuring God's creation, giving love the attributes of fear and attack. You know, how many relationships, how many Oprah Winfrey shows, or what's that other guy that where people fight on the stage, you know, Maury or whatever.
All of them, yeah.
All of those sorts of things. We get some of them here. It's like, what better example? I mean, they're ridiculous whether they're staged or not, but what better example is there of two people who sit on that stage and somebody cheated on somebody with somebody else and they bring all three of them there and it ends up in a fist fight, and it's like, and we call that love.
Yeah.
Because I love you, I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy and demand that you come back on my terms to prove that my ideas of what I think love is are justified.
Or even kill you.
Either or. It's crazy shit either way. It's just insane. You know? But that's what the body represents, and those that associate themselves with the body cannot not play out the perpetuation of that representation in one form or another. It's just what happens again and again and again and again, which is why into this crazy situation comes the teachers of God, hopefully to represent something else that they are learning as they teach. You know, Father, I would not be insane today. I would not be afraid of love, nor seek for refuge in its opposite. For love can have no opposite. You are the source of everything that is, and everything that is remains with you, and you with it. Good ratings. Good ratings, those shows, you know. They want the people to get up there and fight. It's like everything is orchestrated and structured to perpetuate conflict. You know, any rational human being would say, well, let's just shut down this show, and then people won't have to go through those particular conflicts in order for them to be able to wind up here on the stage being interviewed by this idea of Maury Povey or whatever his name is, you know, that gets good ratings and fulfills his own ambitions, you know, like that in the beginning in the 20-minute book. You know, I would use everything. Can't even remember where it is. Oh, I don't have one here.
I know what you're talking about.
You know the one I mean?
Yeah.
I use everything as
Everything
against.
and everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Making them my enemies.
Exactly.
It's like, that's the state of mind that is. That's what it represents. It's like, if I'm going to see the Christ in my brother, I've got to be able to look past that. I can't look past it while I'm still attracted to it. And it's like the admission that I'm attracted to it is more important than my decision to look past it. Because as soon as I can admit to myself that I'm attracted to it, the attraction will automatically dissipate and I'll look past it automatically. You know? So when it says I'm determined to see the peace of God today, or I'm determined for this, that, and the other of God today, well, it's like, that's great. But it's like, I also have to realize that I'm the block.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I'm saying that I'm determined is because obviously I'm getting in the way. So I'm determined to get over myself so that something else can be shown to me. Something else can be revealed, not of my own making, something divine, something miraculous, which I'm hopefully learning to allow to happen in my own thinking, so that I can see it not only manifest out there and thus become the witness, the living witness to the presence of God in my life, but so that I can alleviate my brothers from suffering through their prior agreement to come into this work for me and play out the parts that I've asked them to play as victims or sufferers or whatever it is. It's really cool when you can see how it all works. It's just like, it's so simple, but it's like, all right, let me even let go of all of that, so that in the next moment I can learn to become dependent on God for how it is that that's supposed to pan out and unfold, rather than me trying to use my spiritual learnings to try and navigate my way through something. Right? My spiritual learnings of today are sufficient for today, and whatever I find tomorrow will be sufficient for tomorrow. I'm always learning to become dependent on God. Father, help me today. Help me get through this day. I don't want to find myself pulled up at lunchtime with my head buried in A Course in Miracles trying to figure out what went wrong. I'm using A Course in Miracles so I can learn to remember to ask within for help, ask within for guidance. That's all the Course is telling me. It's telling me you have a true connection. Use it. Be still. Listen. It's 700 pages of be still. 365 workbook lessons of be still.
Mm.
In my willingness to forgive, I can be still.